Thanks for clicking on my video. Today I'm going to be sharing my 2019 mock draft for the 1st through 20th picks. Before I start, I'm going to share my top 3 favorite prospects / underrated players in this year's draft. First up, for prospects, I like Sekou Doumbouya from France. He is a perfect archetype of an NBA small forward, and any team should be positioning themselves to draft him. Second up is Darius Garland from Vanderbilt. His basketball ability is crazy, and any team in need of a point guard should try to get him on their roster. They should ignore his past injuries because they will have no effect on his future development as an NBA player. Finally, I have Bol Bol from Oregon. A lot of people are worried about his ability to play effectively at the next level, but I think he can be a terrific player in the modern NBA. Now that that's done, let's get started. With the first overall pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, New Orleans Pelicans will select Zion Williamson out of Duke University. Zion is a clear-cut number 1 pick, and he has the ability to change the franchise's future for the better. Pair Zion with the assets that the Pelicans will receive for Anthony Davis, and his team promises a bright future with the potential of an NBA dynasty. The next best player in this year's draft is Ja Morant out of Murray State. He put up outstanding numbers this season as a franchise player for the Grizzlies at number 2. The Grizzlies will have to move Mike Conley following his selection, and with the duo of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., this team has 2 incredible talents that will shape the franchise future for the better. The top-tier franchise-changing players in this year's draft all sit in the top 3 spots. The Knicks were lucky to grab the 3rd pick, which they will use on R.J. Barrett out of Duke. Barrett is highly regarded by the Knicks, and he has the potential to develop into a terrific NBA player. The Knicks have 2 max slots available next year, and with Barrett, they could potentially challenge for the NBA Finals out of a wide-open Eastern Conference. Anthony Davis has finally been traded to the Lakers in exchange for most of the Lakers' young core, the 4th overall pick, and additional future first-round picks. Originally, I had the Lakers taking Jarrett Culver at 4, and I think the Pelicans will follow suit. Jrue Holiday shouldn't hold any place in the Pelicans' long-term future, and they need to find a guard to pair with Lonzo in the backcourt. Culver fits in well with Lonzo as a dynamic scorer and defender at the 2 position. The Pelicans could be a real contender in the Western Conference if their young core develops correctly. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in full rebuild mode as they try to move on from the LeBron era. With the 5th pick in this year's draft, the Cavs are looking to select the best remaining player in the draft board. Most likely this will be DeAndre Hunter, fresh off winning a national championship. He is a terrific scoring wing and will work well with the playmaking ability of Colin Sexton over the next few years. The Phoenix Suns are desperately in need of a starting point guard next season. Although it's possible that they will lure a big-name point guard such as D'Angelo Russell, Kyrie Irving, or Kemba Walker in free agency this summer, it is extremely unlikely. This means that their best bet is drafting a point guard. Behind Ja Morant, I believe that Darius Garland out of Vanderbilt is the best point guard in the draft. The Suns will give him plenty of time to recover from his injury, and he will fit in perfectly to the Suns' starting 5 next season. Garland will take the pressure off of Booker as the primary playmaker and will add a new dimension to the Suns' offense. The Chicago Bulls are in the same boat as the Phoenix Suns. They both have a solid team without a dynamic point guard to create offense. Kobe White out of North Carolina proved that he can score and create for others. Adding him to a starting 5 of Zach LaVine, Otto Porter Jr., Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. would make an immediate playoff contender with a bright future. The Atlanta Hawks are probably in the best position of anybody in this year's draft. The team holds 2 top 10 picks to add young talent next to their solidified franchise pieces of Trae Young and John Collins. A scoring wing such as Cameron Reddish from Duke would add a new threat to the team's offense and potentially create an unstoppable Big 3 for years to come. The Wizards had a disappointing season last year as they missed out on the playoffs because of an injury to their star point guard John Wall. Beal and Wall are the only 2 solidified players on this wide-open roster. This means that the Wizards will select the best winger or center available. At the 9th pick, Brandon Clark out of Gonzaga is the best player and provides post-scoring to balance out the Wizards' guard-dominant offense. The Hawks' potential starting 5 next season looks incredible. The only thing missing from the starting 5 is a center that can control the paint area. Because of Bol Bol's injury, his stock has fallen, which makes him the perfect pick for the Hawks at 10. Bol allows Colin to play his preferred position of power forward and would make Atlanta a playoff team with one of the brightest futures in the league. It is likely that Taj Gibson will leave the T-Wolves this summer, opening a power forward spot in the starting 5 next season. Jackson Hayes from Texas is an incredible athlete that can play both the 4 and the 5. His one weakness is his three-point shooting ability. If this becomes a problem, Dario Saric could be subbed in to offer balance in the rotation. The Hornets roster is a mess right now. Assuming that Kemba Walker signs his Supermax and stays in Charlotte this summer, the Hornets only have one true scoring option. Sekou Doumbouya from France could add another scoring threat this season. He has the perfect build of an NBA small forward and has proven in France's top leagues that he can create his own shot when needed. The Dwayne Wade era in Miami is over, and the franchise looks to move in a positive direction for their future. The roster, as it is currently constructed, contains multiple big men without a dynamic guard to create plays and score the ball. Kevin Porter Jr. from USC is the top shooting guard in the draft and would fill the slot vacated by D. Wade. Although he has a small sample size, he has proven that he can score the ball effectively and create for his teammates. The Celtics do not have a true power forward on their roster, other than Marcus Morris, who could leave the Celtics this offseason. In the power forward deep draft, P.J. Washington out of Kentucky would be given opportunities in the Celtics next year and could earn more minutes come playoff time. The Pistons have the talent to be a good team. The only problem is how much their talent costs. The draft is a great opportunity to fill a need for the Pistons and do so in a cost-effective manner. Romeo Langford from Indiana would fit in well in the backcourt with Reggie Jackson because he can score and create offense for bigs like Drummond and Griffin. If the Pistons sign a veteran winger in free agency, the potential of this team in the playoffs could be dramatically improved from last year. The Magic have an excellent young core filled with playmakers, athletic finishers, and scoring big men. The one thing they lack is a knockdown shooter to stretch the floor. Tyler Hero from Virginia is regarded as the best shooter in the draft and will complete his starting five of Fultz, Gordon, Isaac, and Vucevic. Rui Hachimura's draft stock has fallen after he was projected to be a high lottery pick in the draft. Atlanta could get a steal in this draft or potentially package his pick with one of their others to move up in this year's draft or acquire a future first-round pick in a later draft. There are endless possibilities for this pick, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. The Pacers play excellent team basketball. Assuming they return most of their team on short-term deals, they still have a major problem. No one can create a shot for themselves outside of Victor Oladipo. Cameron Johnson was the number one scoring option at UNC this season, and his style of play translates well to the NBA. The only problem is his age, but the Pacers should be willing to overlook that to add an immediate scoring threat that is ready to help Oladipo now. Keldon Johnson out of Kentucky is one of the best scoring guards in the draft and is an ideal shooting guard. The Spurs do not have a defined shooting guard on their roster, and Johnson, being the best shooting guard available, is the obvious choice to fill the hole. The Boston Celtics with the 20th pick will look to add another point guard as they anticipate that either Kyrie Irving or Terry Rozier will leave this summer. Alexander Walker from Virginia Tech is a dynamic scorer and an even better playmaker. He has shown that he can compete on the biggest stage and should make a seamless transition to the NBA. Thanks for watching the video. I hope to make more videos like this, which I will post on this channel. Follow me on social media for updates when a new video goes live. My next video will either be grading teams' drafts or going over big name free agent options before free agency opens in July. Peace.